So what has the celebrity status done for you nowadays? That you're a lot more popular on TV, your whole crew?
Well, it's funny because my son always was like, I don't know about this television show, and we come to Comic-Con and he's like, pretty normal people like you. It's like, it's kind of surprising. No, it's like, I really love it because the people that, especially coming here, it's like, I love what I do, and to see the fans' reaction to it makes me feel good about it, because when we're out there making the show, we're kind of like in isolation, and I'm trying to like always do something that people at home will enjoy. And that's been the biggest thing, that I really like it because people have a good reaction to it, and that's what it's all about.
What is it like when you're when on some of the episodes you see yourselves not hitting the goal, getting very close to it? I mean, what's the pressure feel like for that? I mean, when you're trying to...
It's tough. I mean, one of the things, like, we could make a show where everything's successful, right? Because we're sitting there, we can control whatever we want to do. And I wanted the viewer to really understand, everything doesn't sell. Everything doesn't sell for a lot. They're a failure. It's a real business. So you're experiencing the highs and lows of everything I do. So you like, oh my God, the camera's 800,000 or 700,000. The ruby slippers sell, they don't sell. So I want people to understand it. This is a real business. There's ups and downs, and I think it's a good reflection of like the drama of what we deal with.
So what are some of the stuff that maybe got cut out that weren't shown, or I mean, can you
it's
talk
more
about
like
that?
We'll shoot like we might spend 3 or 4 hours at somebody's house, and you're seeing 3 minutes.
3 minutes of it,
because we're shooting different angles and different ideas for stories. Because at the end of the day, we have to go back and edit all the things, and we might shoot something in, let's just make believe, February. We might not edit it until June. So it's like kind of putting together episodes that make sense, stories, because it's real. Because I don't get all the material at one time. We might get something 3 months after we shot something else that fit together. So then we go back and tweak it. So it's really a work in progress. It's one of the most difficult things about making my show is the editing process, because it's real.
Because you guys are definitely changing from the first season where the auction was basically at the end of the episode. Now you're kind of doing the 2 auctions.
Yeah, I think it's more, we wanted to have more, we went to the hour format because we wanted to keep the viewer more engaged. And I think by seeing payoffs all the time, you're more interested, because I think what happened was, by the time the auctions came around, you forgot. You're like, what was that? I don't even remember that piece. And now it's like, hey, you're in a story, what happened? We're right to an auction, good or bad. Here's a story. So I think it makes the viewer more engaged. They stay
with the show.
Yeah, that's what it's about.
So what's the next Ruby Swipper for you?
The Maltese Falcon, if we could find that, that'd be the great, Grail. Rosebud's out there, the sled, Maria the robot from Metropolis. Most of the great pieces are missing. I mean, they could be anywhere in the world. Film culture is scattered to the wind, so we're constantly searching for stuff.
Right. Is there one item that you wish you kept for yourself?
Yeah, the biggest regret I ever have is I actually own the hourglass in The Wizard of Oz. It was about this tall, hand-carved, the one that the Wicked Witch puts down Dorothy. I sold that about 15 years ago. I would love to get that back. That's one of the few things, if I could ever buy it, I would never sell it. So it's like, some things resonate. It's really hard to part with the Wonka stuff. I had sold it to the Dryers in their collection of years. It's really hard for me to see that stuff go. I'll probably have to bid on the Inventing Room key. That might have to stay in my collection. That's going to be the hardest thing for me to let that one go. That one speaks to me.
That's your holy grail.
Well, I can never, Willy Wonka going in, inventing a room, sticking the key. That's the magic of it for me.
So, what's more popular? I mean, with the auction, is it the older stuff from the earlier days, or is it more stuff like the Hunger Games, Twilight, all that kind of stuff?
It really varies. It just depends on, it's such a wide spectrum. I mean, great classic films, Gone with the Wind, Wizard of Oz, Citizen Kane, sure, they're probably the most collected. I would say sci-fi, horror, fantasy, probably the second most collected. And then it's just personal preference. Star Wars is always good. Star Trek is always good. It's kind of like you walk around here, the big brands. We did the Captain America auction from Marvel.
Yes, we saw that.
Superheroes are really popular. So, it's just a real mixture. It's like everybody has a different movie they love. Everybody has a different genre. And on the TV show, we try to show a real diversity. So we do have a Hunger Games, and we do have Wizard of Oz.
For both crowds.
Everybody can see everything, because that's what movies are. It's for everybody.
Right. Are we picked up for another season?
We're waiting. We should know pretty soon. We're hoping.
Great. Thanks, Joe. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.